I'm on the road all fall, non-stop, busy, busy, busy. But there's one thing I wouldn't miss, and that's my kid's first big game hunt.
Oh my God. What? He's standing right there.
Hi everybody, and welcome to North American Hunter. If you're not a believer in calling immature whitetails, well, this week's episode might just be for you. North American Hunter's own Mark Kaiser takes us to the Powder River region of Montana for a lesson in buck rattling I know you'll enjoy.
Mark Kaiser has been a part of the North American Hunter family for quite a few years now. Along the way, he shared his passion for extreme hunting with many enthusiasts, including his son Cole, who is already following in Mark's footsteps with a number of impressive kills at the tender age of 14.
Cole Kaiser, I about wet my pants on that.
Well, meet the latest member of the Kaiser hunting dynasty, his daughter Caitlin.
Probably my earliest memory of hunting was with my dad, and we'd just ride around and try and find shed antlers. I've always enjoyed shooting guns. I really got interested because when we moved to Wyoming, I lived near a gun range and we started shooting guns in 4-H. And then in American Heritage Girls, we started shooting bow and arrows.
This certainly isn't Caitlin's first hunt, or hunting show for that matter. We first met her on a turkey hunt back in 2008 at the ripe old age of 7. Now she's a preteen veteran with 3 turkeys to her credit on her first big game hunt.
And here we are in Montana. It's Thanksgiving break. I'm at one of my favorite places. Well, it's not one of mine, it is my favorite place. Southeast Montana, Gardner Ranch Outfitters, and Doug Gardner has invited me back for Caitlin's first deer hunt.
Me and my brother kind of have a little competition going. He's shot a deer before, but he's never rattled in a whitetail, so.
Right there, Caitlin, you see his back? He's just kind of hidden right now.
Yeah.
No, it is pretty grassy. We watched that big buck. He come out, made a little pass, went back in. The doe's headed this way and he didn't follow him.
Okay, we were walking along and some deer saw us and they got spooked, so we decided to fall back and walk along the riverbank again. And then we stopped and we saw some deer crossing the ice, and so I got down and I practiced on a few of them.
Feel solid?
Yep.
Did you kill him?
Got him.
That's 300 yards. That's a 9-inch drop. But that gun, easy shot, chip shot, you can do that.
But he was about 400 yards out and he was too far away. Then we went into the timber and we set up again.
Buck to our right. He's just coming slow and steady. He's right down your gun barrel. See him right there? He just stepped out.
Yeah. Calm some more.
What do you think, Caitlin?
Can I shoot him?
You wanna?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we should just... Oh, I don't care. It's up to you. If you want to shoot him, just wait till he gets behind that. Oh, hold it. Ooh. Hang on, don't do it. Don't move yet.
It was the first day and my dad said, hold off, because I know there's gonna be a bigger one.
Think we're seeing enough deer?
Yeah.
I think we got one. You just gotta make up your mind. Maybe I gotta make up my mind, huh? I think you were quicker on that one than I was. I wasn't quite sure of what we wanted, but it's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go grab some lunch and we'll get back at it.
Okay.
North American Hunter is brought to you by Federal Premium Ammunition. Every shot counts. Matthews, catch us if you can. Mossy Oak, it's not a passion, it's an obsession. Nikon, the trusted name in optics. Thompson Center, America's master gunmaker. HuntingClub.com, the official site of the North American Hunting Club. And by Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter of hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear. Mark Kaiser is celebrating Thanksgiving the only way he knows how: deer hunting. Better yet, he's hunting with his daughter Caitlin on her first deer hunt. After a morning of spot and stalk, they settle into a blind for the afternoon hunt.
Now the shot can take place probably right there or straight out this window to your right. So what do you think?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We hadn't hardly settled down, got the gun on the sticks when doe started coming out. Until a nice 4x5 jumped the fence. Hang in there. He's not going anywhere, okay? Suddenly, something spooked the deer on the far side of the field, and they all came roaring over to our side of the field. You know how deer are, especially whitetails. They're flighty. The field cleared just as quickly as it had filled up, and that big buck left. Don't worry. Look at how many bucks we've seen this morning. Don't get in a hurry. That's what deer hunting's all about, patience, right?
Right.
Let's just wait it out till dark. Something might still come out. That evening ended. We didn't get a buck, but we did get to watch a great sunset. And more importantly, I got to spend some super one-on-one time with my daughter. Our next move, we took off trying to get through a whole bunch of deer as the sun came up.
We were kind of attempting the impossible because there was no wind and there was snow on the ground, and so every step we took, the deer could hear us. And we were setting up at about every fallen log.
Right away, when we started rattling, a buck come charging out.
Eventually we got to one and there was a really nice buck and my dad rattled him in.
That buck stopped right in front of a cross fence that cut a pasture. He was a nice buck, but I had seen at least one, if not two better bucks in the background as we were glassing all these other bucks. So I told Caitlin, hold off, just relax. No big problem here. I think there's another buck that could show up. And I started rattling again.
Then after a little bit, a bigger one came.
No. Shoot him right in the chest.
Did I hit him?
Caitlin.
Did I hit him?
What do you think you did?
Yeah? Did I?
You dropped it right in his tracks. That was a good shot, too.
I was shaking so much, it was like, whoa.
Man, we've been rattling bucks in right and left, haven't we? Just one after another.
So exciting when you rattle them in.
You like rattling them like that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he's done, but just poke him in the butt, make sure. What do you think, hon?
He's nice.
Your first deer rattled in Montana whitetail. We've had pretty good luck, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you like deer hunting?
It's pretty fun.
Is it better than turkey hunting?
Yeah.
So now the fun starts. You get to gut it, pack it out, and I'm going back to the truck.
Okay.
I'm joking. I'll help you do all that. That buck laying there, that was the icing on the cake. We had already made the best memory of all.
Coming up, we travel to Iowa with Gordy Cron to chase whitetails with a bow.
Welcome back to North American Hunter. You know, Midwest whitetail hunting can be a real challenge. Patterning mature bucks in this patchwork of small island woodlots, which are surrounded by agriculture, can be frustrating, if not downright impossible. North American Hunter's Gordy Cron has traveled to farm country for a classic Iowa whitetail hunt.
The rut is on in Iowa. Food plots are at their hottest. And Gordy Cron is invited in on the action.
Maybe invited was a generous term. I think I kind of worked my way into a hunt.
With the rut, It's all a matter of just a few seconds. You just have to stay with it. Those big bucks are going to be moving.
Gordy is hunting in south central Iowa, not far from the Missouri border. This area is known for its hilly farm country, intercut with hardwoods and evergreens, which is a recipe for big bucks.
Well, Matt had been feeding me trail cam photos for the past couple months, so I was really jacked up by the time I got down here. These properties that we were hunting just had everything that a whitetail needs. When the rut's on, anything can happen, and it usually does. We got down from the stand, we're gonna go have lunch. I just happened to look out of the corner of my eye, and big as life, I saw this buck standing across the field from us. He's probably 300 yards away. And right away I just got down, and I really didn't think he'd come, but I hit the grunt call because I thought he really had us made. And not only did he come, he came at a trot. And all of a sudden I grabbed my bow, put an arrow on, get my release on, and he is still coming. And I'm thinking, you know, are we gonna get a shot at this buck? But he did what mature bucks usually do, and he wanted to use his nose. And, you know, if things would have been just a little bit different, I think we would have had a chance to kill him.
Pros Pointers, brought to you by Can-Am. The facts say a lot, the ride says it all.
Look, we've all been busted in the whitetail woods, but it doesn't have to be that way. There are some simple measures you can take to fool a whitetail's incredible nose. My Iowa archery hunt is a good example. I was perched high in a tree on a point of a ridge. Problem was, they could show up from any direction. Wildlife Research Center's scent killer gold is literally liquid gold when it comes to fooling a buck's nose. Pre-treat your hunting outerwear by liberally spraying it down with scent killer gold, featuring new dry technology, making sure you've got complete coverage. Let them dry and store them in a scent-free container until you're ready for the hunt. You've just turned your clothes into a high-powered scent elimination suit. I've seen a lot of deer, I've seen a lot of activity, but I just haven't seen anything close in. So Matt and I talked it over the night before, and we're gonna go to a new location. And he told me that, you know, sit here until 9 o'clock, and if nothing's happening, you might wanna move to another stand. So that's what I did. About 9 o'clock, I climbed down from the stand and just worked my way over to the other location. And sure enough, I get there and I bust a doe right away, and great, you know, I've announced my presence to every deer in the county. But, you know, what am I gonna do? I climb up in the tree, I'm gonna settle in, and I plan on spending several hours here. I had my bow hung up, I was just trying to get my stuff together, getting ready for the sit. And I just happened to catch some movement out of the corner of my eye, and I looked over and there's this buck just coming out of the woods and onto this little part of a green field. And, you know, I was scrambling right away, looking for everything. Where's my grunt call, grabbing my bow and everything. Then I just had to settle myself down because, you know, in reality, I had plenty of time. I hit the grunt call, and he pretty much just turned and started walking in. And then it was time to get down to business. So I got all my stuff together, kind of composed myself, and I could see he was coming right down the fence line. And if he kept coming, he was going to come by me. So it was just time to slow myself down and just get ready to take the shot. And thankfully, he went behind some brush and behind a tree, and I kind of lost sight of him for a while, but I knew he was coming. So I got my bow ready. We just got set up. I just got my bow on his peg. We turned around and we got a big buck coming in right behind us. Holy smokes. I was almost in a state of disbelief because there he was dead on the ground. I'd just been hunting for 3.5, going on 4 days. and it just, nothing going on, nothing really happening, and now I'm looking at a dead buck over there on the ground. Well, we made a good call this morning by moving. You know, when the rut is on like this, the deer are just moving, and you got to move with them too. You know, it might seem like the wrong thing to do to get down out of your stand at 9 o'clock, but you know, you got to take a proactive approach to the rut because the bucks are doing that. They're on the move, and you know, it doesn't hurt to move around a little bit. Find that hot buck. You know that Iowa buck you just watched? Well, when that buck came in, I was all turned around. I was wrapped around that tree like a contortionist. Luckily, I made the shot. The key? My upper body was consistent to my practice shooting stance, even though my lower body was twisted like a pretzel. But it is a shot that can be easily replicated and practiced during the off-season. The same goes for many of the other positions you find yourself in. Sitting, kneeling, uphill, downhill, you name it, it can most likely be routinely practiced. Another thing to remember is it's often more difficult to pull back your bow from a seating or kneeling position, so you really need to practice for that too. It's better to find out if your draw weight is too extreme before you've got a 10-point buck standing in front of you and you just can't jack your bow back.
Up next, one animal, two hunters, and a clear difference of opinion.
We're here in Illinois on a late season hunt. It's mid-December and I'm in a ground blind, my favorite way to hunt late season, but with the trick with ground blinds, I like to have them out super early. This particular field, I want to be right in the middle so I have a shot opportunity at both ends. That means I'm putting my blind out in August.
No arguments there. I think that's a big mistake a lot of hunters do. They just don't put their ground blind out early enough. And those whitetails, I don't care how good at putting blinds up you are, they freak when they see something new. Even if you can get it out 3, 4, 5 days ahead of time, that's better than putting that ground blind out that morning and trying to hunt it.
Now the cool thing with this hunt, these does came into the field. It's a turn-up field, but it really hadn't gotten that cold, so they actually bedded right in the field. Talk about having the perfect decoy right in the field.
Decoys, I love decoys. Live decoys, I love them all the more. There's a lot of mark love there for those decoys. But what's coming up behind these does, that's what I really love. A nice, mature looking 5x5 buck. Well, maybe he's got some broken points there. Now, is he gonna give you a shot? He's sneaking through there, and right now there's a little bit of brush in the way.
Luckily, this buck continues on and he presents the perfect shot. And I've got time on my side. The coolest part is I have some trail cam photos of some giants that have been frequenting this field, and I just couldn't get myself to pull the trigger because I knew there's some other bigger bucks in the field.
Well, devil's advocate here. I don't know there's a bigger buck coming. This buck looks plenty good. I didn't have all the data that Melissa had. I didn't have the trail camera pictures. I was put in this spot, and when I see a deer like that, I think it's time to put the bacon on the table. Now, my play in any situation like this is to distract that deer at the opportune best time when he's in a shooting lane. Usually I do it with a coyote bark, but this deer is close enough, I think just a subtle grunt will hold him up.
Good thing you didn't use the old coyote bark, because I think in Illinois, these deer would be out of sight. Either way, this time, I let him go. Hi, I'm Melissa Bachman, and this is Field Test. Everything you'll see here has been tested and approved by members of the North American Hunting Club. If you're looking for the latest outdoor gear, this is information you can rely on. The Schrade Reticle Bear Knife features a low-profile